That means the real choke point is not extraction, but control of the supply chain. Even countries with domestic deposits remain exposed if they cannot process these materials independently. From a money signal perspective, this is critical. Rare earths do not create explosive GDP growth. They do not produce fast economic wins. Their value lies elsewhere. They reduce strategic vulnerability. They stabilize industrial planning. They protect military readiness. And in a fragmented world, they become leverage. This is why Greenland matters economically. If the United States were to secure privilege, control, access, or long-term alignment over Greenland's resource base, the impact would not be immediate, but it would be profound. It would reduce future dependence on external processing monopolies. It would justify large-scale investment in domestic or allied refining capacity. And it would shift bargaining power in global trade negotiations without ever needing to flood markets with supply. That is structural power. And this is precisely why Europe reacted so strongly. For Europe, the issue is not only Greenland's minerals or geography. It is the precedent. The idea that economic pressure could be used to force a sovereignty outcome inside the Western Bloc challenges the foundational assumptions of alliance politics. NATO was built on collective security and political trust. Once trust erodes, coordination becomes transactional. Markets understand this intuitively. That is why volatility rises, not because of Greenland itself, but because investors start repricing the reliability of rules. When alliances fracture, capital demands higher risk premiums. Defense spending expectations rise, trade flows become less predictable. Safe haven assets gain appeal. This tension does not exist in isolation. At the same time Europe is dealing with this shock, it remains deeply engaged in supporting Ukraine. Any internal division weakens focus. And from the perspective of Russia, Western distraction is itself an advantage. No escalation is required when cohesion weakens on its own. From Beijing's perspective, fragmentation accelerates a world where supply chains, standards, and trade rules are negotiated bilaterally rather than upheld multilaterally. In that environment, leverage matters more than norms. This ripple effect extends further. Countries like Iran and Venezuela sit within the global energy and sanctions architecture. When Western coordination weakens, enforcement becomes uneven. When enforcement becomes uneven, incentives shift. That affects energy pricing, risk perception, and capital flows, even if no policy changes are announced. In the Middle East,